Wow, look at all these beautiful faces. My goodness. Some of you may have recognized that song. It was my beautiful friend Gemma Bulos. And that song, We Rise, was from her and her Million Voice Choir. And it was the song for the theme of the United Nations some years back. So we rise. And of course, as we lift women of peace, we rise, all of us, mothers, fathers, sisters, children, we rise. So welcome. Today we are celebrating women as peace builders. And it's a grand celebration. I am so excited. So my name is Tezkiah Gabriel. I'm the executive director of Pathways to Peace. And today in this awards ceremony, we wish to pay special tribute to our beloved Avon Madison. While Avon transcended this world last October, we know she is here celebrating with us today in her full glory. Avon is a beloved global peace builder who was the co-founder and president of Pathways to Peace. Avon was a woman who honored all women as peace builders and was a colleague, mentor, and advocate for women as peace builders. Many of those women are here today. The Exceptional Women of Peace Awards are inspired by Avon and also by all women around our world who are dedicating their lives to peace. Honor all of them, and we honor you. So, as Brother Phil says, when we honor one, we honor all. And so this is for you. And so, as we always do with Pathways to Peace, we begin with a moment of silence. A way to just come into our hearts, a way to get grounded in this beautiful, sacred circle, a way to be able, in this case, to lift and honor all women as peace builders. So we ask that you just take a moment, that you allow yourselves to rest into your chair, or allow, if you're standing, allow your feet to sink into the earth as we just come into our heart in this moment of silence. And let's slow our breathing. Breathe a little bit slower and a little bit deeper. And when we're ready, let's just focus right there in the center of our chest, the seat of our hearts. And with each breath we take, let's imagine our hearts expanding, filling every pore, every part of our bodies. Feeling that love and that nourishment, that nurturing, that compassion, that unity, that peace. And now let's visualize those women we know, or perhaps those women we don't know, that are dedicating their lives to peace. And with our beautiful heart energy, let's lift them. Lift them as they feel our peace, our nurturance, our love, that we are one with them. in their endeavor to bring peace to our world, to build a culture of peace that benefits all humanity. Let's lift those women. And now let's bring that energy back to the circle, back to honoring everyone here, as well as everyone, because everyone is a pathway to peace. So I'd like to take a moment to just share a bit about Pathways to Peace for those who don't know us. Pathways to Peace is a UN-designated peace messenger organization that holds consultative status with the UN Department of Global Communications and ECOSOC. For over 40 years, under the guidance and direction of our dear Avon Madison, Pathways to Peace has been engaged in innovation, collaboration, and movement building. Our vision is for a world at peace, and our work is about building a culture of peace. Pathways to Peace provides education, consultation, and mentorship. Working in partnership for over all these years, Pathways to Peace has inaugurated several UN-recognized peace initiatives, including the UN International Day of Peace, which we're celebrating on September 21st, the UN Culture of Peace Resolution and Program of Action, which we celebrate the anniversary here today, and our Peace Way, which is a simple practice at noon every day around our globe in every time zone to hold a vision for peace. Pathways to Peace works in partnership with peace builders locally and globally, multi-generationally, and cross-culturally on programs that build peace and eliminate barriers to peace, including nuclear disarmament, climate change, racial equity, and gender equality. Since its inception, Pathways to Peace has always honored and supported women's leadership as the forerunners in the peace movement. At this point, I'd love to turn the floor over to our project lead, my dear friend, who is an author and an activist, and again is the project lead for the Exceptional Women of Peace initiative. Kim?
Thank you, Tez, and welcome. So I've had the good fortune of working with women in many different communities in many countries. And I've seen firsthand that women are the ones running grassroots organizations. Women are the ones ensuring there are essential services for their community. Women are the ones finding homes for orphan children. Women are the ones standing up against unjust policies and laws. And women are the ones that can sense tension and help to moderate, mediate that tension before it erupts into conflict, and so much more. And yet, women are so often unrecognized, unpaid, unacknowledged. So we wanted to lift up and celebrate and honor the work that women do every day to build communities and build peace in their home areas. And so by launching this award, we're saying we care, we see you, we thank you, we honor you and salute you. And really by extension, we're honoring 8 extraordinary women today. But we're also, in extension, honoring the work that everyone here is doing, that millions of women are doing every day, that we really need to see and acknowledge because it is crucial for the well-being of all communities. So when I was CEO of Peace by Peace some years ago, I hosted an annual awards event honoring women. And I saw how important it was, not just to the award winners, but to everyone there. And I thought, it's time we do this again. So I approached Tez a while back, and of course she immediately said yes, because it is totally connected with the work of Pathways to Peace and very much with the spirit and vision of Avon. And we all know that Avon would have been our exceptional woman of peace par excellence. So Tez and I decided that we should have two awards, one for a woman who's worked for many decades perhaps, and another for a young woman of peace, to be able to encourage more young women to go into peace building. We launched the award on the International Women's Day, March 8th, and the response has been beyond our expectations. Not just the quantity, but the quality of responses. We've been overwhelmed and so pleased with how this award has gone. So we are thrilled to have and host this award. We want to thank each of you for the work you do every day, and thank you all for participating in this special award ceremony. So back to you, Tez.
Thank you. So thank you for that, Kim. It's been such an honor and delight to work with you around this. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Ambassador Chowdhury. So in many ways, for most of us, Ambassador Chowdhury needs no introduction. We know him so well. We know his extraordinary lifetime work. And in particular for today, his work on behalf of women's leadership in building peace. And I want to say also that Ambassador Chowdhury and Avon had an incredible partnership through the years, in that they worked together around so many of these initiatives that are intended to, again, strengthen women's leadership while building a culture of peace, the culture of peace. So Ambassador Chowdhury has been a career diplomat, permanent representative of Bangladesh to the United Nations, president of the UN Security Council, president of UNICEF Executive Board, UN Undersecretary General and High Representative, Senior Special Advisor to UN General Assembly President, and recipient of the U Thant Peace Award, UNESCO Gandhi Gold Medal for Culture of Peace, Spirit of the UN Award, and University of Massachusetts Boston Chancellor's Medal for Global Leadership for Peace, 2018. 2018, there's so many, 2000 and all well-deserved. 2018 Global Women's Peace Award, recipient of the inaugural Global Citizen Award by the Soka University of America, and 2021 Visionary Leadership Award presented by civil society organizations. Pathways to Peace was one of those organizations. His legacy and leadership in the service of global community are boldly imprinted in his pioneering initiatives in March 2000 as the president of the Security Council for the political and conceptual breakthrough, leading to the groundbreaking UN Secretary Council Resolution 1325 on women and peace and security, and in September 1999 for adoption of the landmark program on the culture of peace by the UN General Assembly. In March 2003, the Soka University of Tokyo, Japan, conferred to Ambassador Chowdhury an honorary doctorate for his work on women's issues, child rights, and culture of peace, as well as for the strengthening of the United Nations. In May 2012, he received a Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa degree from the St. Peter's University of New Jersey, United States. In May 2021, the University of La Verne, California, USA, conferred on him an honorary doctorate for his work on global peace and development. Ambassador Chowdhury is the founder of New York-based Civil Society Coalition, the global movement for the culture of peace, of which Pathways to Peace has been a founding member. So, Ambassador, it's just our honor and delight that you said yes to the invitation to be our keynote speaker. There could never be anyone who we would choose that would be more qualified to be here. So thank you. And I'll turn it over to you.
The ambassador is muted and needs to be spotlighted.
This is the standard action by me, inaction by me. Thank you, Pathways to Peace Executive Director, Tezakie Gabriel, my dear friends and co-activists for equality and peace. Happy anniversary, happy 23rd anniversary of the consensus action by the General Assembly of the United Nations of its foundational documents on the culture of peace. 23 years ago today, on 13 September 1999, the United Nations adopted the Declaration and Program of Action on a Culture of Peace, a monumental document that transcends boundaries, cultures, societies, and nations. It was an honor for me to chair the 9-month-long negotiations that led to the adoption of this historic norm-setting document by the United Nations General Assembly. That document asserts that inherent in the culture of peace is a set of values, modes of behavior, and ways of life. A statement from the 4th World Conference on Women in Beijing in 1995 declared that, and I quote, "The dynamic movement towards a culture of peace derives inspiration and hope from women's visions and actions," end of quote. It further underscored that full respect for human rights of women, the release of women's creative potential in all aspects of life, the equal participation of women in decision-making are all prerequisites to attaining the culture of peace. The core message of this 1995 statement continues to be equally relevant today. I am deeply moved by the honor accorded to me to be the inaugural keynote speaker at the exceptional Women of Peace Awards ceremony today. That too on this very special day of 13 September. Pathways to Peace, we in short say PTP, has been working for 40 years locally and globally, intergenerationally and interculturally, to support peace building and peace builders, and the initiatives to co-create a global culture of peace. Encouraged by the spirit of its co-founder, Evan Mattison, a dear and respected friend, PTP recognizes the exceptional leadership of women of all ages, backgrounds, and experiences. To commemorate the inspirational legacy of Avon this year on 8th March, as Kim said, International Women's Day, PTP launched an award campaign to honor exceptional women of peace. As PTP says, and I quote, this award honors the inspiring work of women peace builders whose courage, leadership, and commitment to peace stand out as beacons of strength and hope. My life's experience has taught me to value peace and equality as the essential components of our existence. They unleash the positive forces of good that are so needed for human progress. My initiatives at the United Nations General Assembly in 1999 on the culture of peace and in the Security Council in 2000 on equality of women's participation. Also, in leading the UN system's prioritization of the needs of the world's most vulnerable countries as their champion for 6 years. All these show that when head and heart join together to do something meaningful and worthwhile for humanity, no obstacle is insurmountable. My work has taken me to the farthest corners of the world. I have seen time and again the centrality of the culture of peace and women's equality in our lives. This realization has now become more pertinent amid the ever-increasing militarism, militarization, and weaponization that is destroying both our planet and our people. One soul-stirring inspiration that I have experienced from my work for peace, development, and human rights is that we should never forget that when women, half of world's 7+ million people, are marginalized, there is no chance for our world to get sustainable peace in the real sense. It is my strong belief that unless women are engaged in advancing the culture of peace at equal levels at all times with men, sustainable peace would continue to elude us. Women bring a new breadth, quality, and balance of vision to a common effort for moving away from the cult of war towards the culture of peace. I believe wholeheartedly that women's equality makes our planet safe and secure. All of you are aware of the Security Council resolution, as Tez mentioned, 1325 on women and peace and security. It is very close to my intellectual existence and my very small contribution to a better world for each one of us. To trace back more than 22 years ago, on the International Women's Day again, in 2000, as the president of the Security Council, I initiated an agreement, an agreed statement that formally brought to global attention the positive role and contribution of women to peace and security. The Security Council recognized in that statement that peace is inextricably linked with equality between women and men, and also affirmed the value of full and equal participation of women at all decision-making levels. That conceptual and political breakthrough finally resulted in the adoption of the Resolution 1325. Adoption of 1325 opened a much-awaited door of opportunity for women who have shown time and again that they bring a qualitative improvement in structuring peace and in post-conflict architecture. When women participate in peace negotiations and in the crafting of a peace agreement, they have the broader and long-term interest of society in mind. We recall in choosing the 3 women laureates for the 2011 Nobel Peace Prize, the citation of the Nobel Committee referred to 1325, saying that it underlined the need for women to become participants on an equal footing with men in peace processes and in peace work in general. 1325 is the only UN resolution so specifically noted in any citation of the Nobel Peace Prize. Much, nevertheless, remains to be done. Empowering women's political leadership will have ripple effects on every level of society. When politically empowered, women bring important and different skills and perspectives to the policy-making table in comparison to their male compatriots. I underscore often that when women join politics, they want to do something. When men join politics, they want to be something. Patriarchy and misogyny are humanity's dual scourges, pulling back the international community away from our aspiration for a better world to live in freedom, equality, and justice. Gender inequality is an established, proven, and undisputed reality. It is all pervasive. It is a real threat to human progress. On a somber note, let me alert that we are experiencing around the globe an organized, determined rollback of the gains made, as well as new attacks on women's equality and empowerment. Yes, in all parts of the world and in all countries without exception. That global reality is dramatically evidenced in the fact that the UN itself, despite being the biggest champion of women's equality, has failed to elect a woman secretary general, yet to reverse the historical injustice of having the post occupied by men for the entire 7 decades of its existence. Before closing, let me assert that feminism is a component of modern view of global politics. It is about smart policy, which includes whole populations, uses all potentials, and leaves no one behind. let me reiterate that I am proud to be a feminist. All of us need to be. That is how we make our planet a better place to live for all. I convey my heartiest congratulations to the first recipients of the Excellence Exceptional Women for Peace. That is the first winners, and I do not know who are they, but my congratulations to them. We should always remember that without peace, development is impossible. And without development, peace is not achievable. But without women, neither peace nor development is conceivable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. We so appreciate you, and you have a lot of comments of gratitude in the chat that I hope you'll be able to see. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Kim, who will speak about and give our leadership team an opportunity to speak about the awards process. Kim?
Thank you, Tez. And again, thank you, Ambassador Chowdhury, not only for your inspiring comments today, but your lifetime of work to build peace. Thank you. So I'm delighted to introduce our leadership team, also known as the nominating committee. We thank them for saying yes and for the time it took to carefully review all of the applications and discuss with Tez and me which nominations bubbled to the top. It was a hard choice as we had many, many qualified candidates. So first is Natasha Singh Ali from South Africa, who is an attorney, businesswoman, and a management consultant. I've asked each to speak for around 2 or 3 minutes. So Natasha, you're welcome.
Thank you, Kim. And good day and hello to everyone. Peace greetings from around the world, wherever you may be. I'm grateful to be here in the presence of so many esteemed and notable peace builders. I sit in Johannesburg, South Africa, as an advocate for social justice, a mediator, and a student of peace learning. Greetings and thanks to Ambassador Chowdhury for your notable presence, your notable work, and for all you've done for us up to this point. To Kim Vaischel, Tezekiah Gabriel for conceiving of and directing the Exceptional Women of Peace campaign and awards, together with my fellow panelists, Genevieve Balens-Kopang and Aisha Asoka. They are both internationally recognized peace educators and peacekeepers. And I say thank you for the opportunity for us to be able to drive the campaign and participate and invite all of you into this moment. I take pause to recognize also the spirit of Avon Mattison with us today. And with that same energy, we honor all the applicants for taking a good measure of their time to not only share, but educate and awaken us to their work. I was moved by your fortitude, your sacrifices, and convictions to meet others where they need you most. And in reading your stories, I could sense your caring motives. I hold deep admiration for each and every one of our entrants. It is palpable how you volunteer your hands, your minds and hearts to improving the lives of others. As torchbearers of peace, you clearly feel compelled to speak, and for the most vulnerable women and children who need it most. Many have been led to safety by you or trained to start again in a new country when displaced as a community or culture. We bear witness to your unwavering compassion for those denied or ravaged by misfortune. All applicants demonstrated that they are dedicated to rewiring the way we connect with one another, to temper and subdue conflict and otherness. We applaud your spirit, your heart, your love to consciously organize and speak for peace, albeit in difficult circumstances. I'm truly awestruck by the many years of dedication displayed by some who we consider elders from those who responded. They have over the years articulated and framed various platforms and approaches to promote peace. They have mentored and continue to inspire many. With the same fervor, I say, I'm encouraged by the vigor with which young women are serving and building communities of peace. You are articulating a future of inclusion and connectivity. I can say it has been inspiring to bear witness to the incredible personalized efforts and warm hearts of these dedicated and courageous young women. We acknowledge the distinct privilege to be introduced to all of you. Your elevated voices cry a resounding reminder to us. It says, hold life, nature, and living beings sacred. Each of you serve uniquely, some for decades. I'm deeply thankful to you as iconic peace builders for allowing us to gain insights into your noble actions, your motivations, and to share in your transformative realities. Thank you for your positive messaging, for spreading your work and selfless acts of peace. We are grateful to you for expanding the reach of peace across our world. Thank you.
Thank
Over
you,
to you.
Natasha. And second is Genevieve Balance Kupang, who is a peace educator from the Philippines and was herself nominated for this award. Genevieve? I know Genevieve is here. She'll just need to unmute.
A moment.
There you are. We hear you.
I am sorry, I cannot open my camera because I am here in a remote place in the Philippines doing cultural mapping. It so happened that we're here for the 2 months to do cultural mapping in this part of the Philippines. But what I would like to say is to say congratulations to all our winners. It's so good to also see Ambassador Chowdhury, whom I met in Budapest and in Taiwan during the World Council for Curriculum and Instruction, where I belong. And I'd also like to thank you, Tess and Kim, for allowing us to be part of the selection process. Learned a lot from these exceptional women from many parts of the world. We're very much encouraged to continue the work that we do. And so I would like to say peace, force, and joy to all the women in the world who uplift the community in difficult situations. But in spite of all the challenges, you are there to unite and empower communities with the work that you do. I am so inspired with this moment and to witness this momentous event with you, our fellow peace advocate in the world. So thank you very much, and my great love and peace from the Philippines, sending you I am sending you my
Okay, Genevieve, we just lost you. Thank you so much for your words and for your work there. So third is Asha Asalan from India, who works in the fields of women, peace and security, and human rights. Asha?
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Distinguished Ambassador Chowdhury, Leadership Committee, all nominees, award finalists, and all guests. I want to take this opportunity to thank Pathways to Peace, especially Tasekia and Kim for allowing me to be part of this event. It's my honor and pleasure to be part of this leadership committee along with Natasha and Jenny to find exceptional peace builders. I can confirm to you all, this committee's job was very difficult because every women's work, every nominee's work is exceptional and valuable in making positive impacts in their community, country, and the world. During my 6 years of work in South Sudan and Sudan, I had the opportunity to work on UN Security Council 1325. And 1325 is not about having the women in the table, but having their voices heard and included in policies. And I've seen how women, under extremely difficult situations, risking their life, work to prevent conflict, end conflict, recover from conflict, build peace, advocate for human rights and justice and development. Despite these challenges, women worldwide contribute to peace in all areas. However, their work is not recognized as it should be. Through this campaign, I'm humbled and inspired to learn about each nominee's work, and I'm encouraged to continue my work in this field. This award means a lot to me. It's recognizing, celebrating, and honoring not only the work of nominees and awardees, but the work of each peace builders worldwide, including me and all of you. All nominees are examples of extraordinary courage, dedication, commitment, and leadership. I congratulate all the nominees and awardees for your contribution to the world. The world needs our work more than ever, and I'm so grateful to be part of this great community working for peace across the world. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you to all of our leadership team members. Each of you just brought a beautiful perspective, energy, and I have to say, love, dedication, and passion to your role. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so now we're going to move into our honorees. And we're going to begin with having a moment to name and honor our finalists. These are the women that do extraordinary work, but are not the awardees. And from this point forward, however, they will be known as the Pathways to Peace Women of Distinction and will be listed as such in all of our media. And we look forward to our partnership with each of you moving forward. So I'm going to begin, and let me say also that that you only have 2 minutes to talk about a lifetime of work. So if you're running a bit over, I'll give you the signal so that we can stay on time for our award ceremony. So first, it's my honor to introduce Esther Omam. Esther shares that the abuses and hardship she suffered growing up, as well as the inequalities suffered by women and girls living in the remotest parts of the southwest region of Cameroon, informed her decision to focus on peace building and to fight for the rights of women and children. Through her organization, Reach Out Cameroon, Esther has served more than 475,000 individuals in need of humanitarian support. Esther, thank you so much. And we're so proud to have you be a woman of distinction for Pathways to Peace.
Thank you so much, Dave. I thank you, Honorable Ambassador Chowdhury, and all protocol duly observed. I feel so elated this day, just like all the other women peace builders who have found their way to this nomination and being finalists for this award. We have been working over 25 years, moving in remotest parts of our country in order to instill hope and love to the lots who have suffered pains in their various communities due to the various crises which are affecting our country. But still, we did not lose hope. We did not give up. We have been going to those women, to those children, to those communities who have been looking unto us without even nothing, just with our hearts. With our hearts, because we believe that we are rooted in the communities. That is where we come from, and that is where our trust should be should be given, and that is where the elevation should come from for all the works that we've been doing, be it advocacy, be it mobilization, be it education, be it care and support, be it humanitarian aid. We have been doing all of this for the sake of the pained and those who are suffering. Men take the gun, women and children bear the brunt. And as a woman, are determined to become resilient amidst all forms of threats and intimidation, despite the burning of our humanitarian vehicles, the kidnapping of our children and our staff, are still remain resilient, just like the many of those who are here today and our sisters, who are peace builders and mediators. This award means a whole lot to me. It gives me joy to know that I have gotten to this level, I am recognized. It gives me the opportunity to be visible, for my work to be known all the world around. I pray that many other women will be recognized as us who are being recognized today, because what we go through is more than what the tongue can tell. It is a story of love. It is a story of passion for humanity. And I thank you for bringing us from the grassroots to global level. And I will say today that because of you, I am locally rooted, globally connected. Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you,
celebrate
Esther.
you.
Thank you so much, and both for your lifetime of work, and I'm so glad that this award brings you joy. So it's my honor to introduce Salma Yusuf, who is a child of war who grew up in Sri Lanka, a country ravaged by war and conflict, which drove her commitment to work for peace, democracy, and human rights. She has held many roles pursuing national unity, including drafting Sri Lanka's first national policy on reconciliation. I don't know if Salma is with us here. Tez, Salma, are you here? I hope so. I did not see her name, and I'd love to have her speak, but she's certainly with us in spirit. I know she's traveling right now, so I don't believe she's here. So unfortunately, we'll have to go to the next. You're muted, Tez.
Always. So next, I would like to introduce Rebecca Teray. Rebecca believes her work for peace is important because long-lasting change begins with her generation. She's a past presenter at the International Day of Peace, has attended workshops dedicated to nonviolence at the Gandhi Institute, and wants to work within schools to transform bullying and other forms of violence into peaceful ways to resolve conflict. Rebecca, are you here? It has been very difficult for our next generation peace builders to be able to make it because of the beginning of school and classes, not being able to get out of classes. So Rebecca, we know you're going to see this. We miss you, and we look forward to our future work with you.
So the next young woman of distinction is Catherine Vogt, who also unfortunately couldn't be here today because of a schedule of her classes. She has been part of Pathways to Peace for 2 years, has spoken at the Youth International Day of Peace, and hosted an event at the Commission on the Status of Women. As her nominator described, Catherine is courageous, fearless, and inspirational and committed to gender equality. So congratulations, Catherine, and I know you'll be watching the recording.
And now, the moments that you've all been waiting for, we believe, we are going to be giving out the awards. And we are giving 4 awards today. Originally, we were going to give 2. And so I have the honor and the pleasure of bestowing the first award. And that is for the Exceptional Woman of Peace. And that award is going out to our dear Hortense Menzies. And so Hortense, I know you're here, so please unmute. Oh, and before that, I almost forgot. Here are the awards. They're beautiful and they're also meaningful to Pathways to Peace. It's the Blue Flame of Peace. And it has the Pathways to Peace logo on it. And even more importantly, it has the names and of course, the dedication on the award. But the Blue Flame of Peace is important for Pathways to Peace. At the beginning of every council meeting, we light the peace flame. And blue, because of the United Nations, as well as blue is one of the favorite colors of Avon Madison, our beloved Avon. And so the Blue Flame of Peace is the award that each of our award recipients will be getting today, and then it will be sent out to you. So this says Exceptional Woman of Peace Award presented to Hortense Menzies, Pathways to Peace, September 2022. Hortense Menzies is a lawyer and human rights advocate who has promoted peace and security nationally, regionally, and internationally. In the last 7 years, Hortense has worked with over 1,000 refugees who face persecution and been victims of armed conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Syria, Rwanda, and Burundi, helping them rebuild their lives, reunite with loved ones, and hold on to the hope of a better future.
Thank you so very much. Are you able to hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you well. Thank you.
Thank you again for this honor. My name is Hortense Menzies, and I'm truly, truly honored and humbled to be receiving this award. I will say a few words because I think my heart is so full, and if I was to say everything that was in my heart, I think we would be here for the entire day. So to the leadership team, Pathways to Peace, our distinguished keynote speaker, Ambassador Chaudhry, fellow peace builders, human rights advocates global, my family, friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. To say that I am overjoyed is an understatement. I am beyond ecstatic. I'm extremely honored to be selected to receive this award, the Exceptional Women of Peace Award. And I'm honestly humbled and grateful for this recognition for my contributions to peace building, as I'm very sure that every other nominee for this award is just as capable, if not more, of winning it. This is an honor that I not only carry for myself, but also on behalf of so many others who have raised me, lifted me, cheered me on, and others who still bear the scars of conflict, of war, of loss, and many others amongst us who continuously advocate for peace building and making contributions to sustain peace all over their world. My personal background and lived experiences are what shaped my passion for peace. On one hand, my pathway to peace is a story of loss, of pain, of brokenness. But on another hand, my pathway to peace is also a story of hope, of peace, of resilience, of strength, and of compassion. Raised as an orphan and as a single mother of 3, I experienced loss and grief personally, and I learned very quickly that loss is something that shatters your life. But when loss comes in as a consequence, as an effect of war, as an effect of conflict, you not only lose loved ones, some people lose homes, some flee countries. For the last 7 years, I have worked with refugees, asylum seekers, migrants, children affected by armed conflict, women who have survived violence, to try and rebuild their lives. This has been in ways of direct assistance, in trying to find resettlement services for them, in trying to find labor mobility pathways with them through my work with Refuge Point, but it has also been work through campaigning and advocacy through my work with Save the Children, advocating for young people, for young women, for children, and understanding that in times of conflict, it is women and children who bear the brunt of violence. My work is characterized by 3 main things: resilience, restoration, and raising others. It is a team effort because I understand that I alone cannot make peace, but together we can make it possible. In ending, I will say that my work has mainly been the work of others and with the work of others. In 2020 and in 2021, I had the privilege of leading a campaign, the 22 Africa Series campaign on youth, peace, and security that aimed to raise awareness on the contributions of young people and young women around the world and around specifically Africa on peace and security. As a Black African woman, I also understand that inequalities, poverty, and discrimination remain as barriers to the world of peace and security for women. I'm currently working with the UN as an intern, raising profiles of underrepresented communities, marginalized groups, and women as a whole, with a group of other people, with other people in advancing and countering inequalities. This trophy is therefore not just a mark of privilege for me, but it's also a symbol of honor to remain loyal, true to the commitment, responsibility, and the call to action that all of us have in achieving peace and creating sustainable environment for our world. I wear many titles, but the one I wear the most proud is that of a mother. And this award allowed for the first time my kids to learn how to use Zoom. For me, being a mother allows me to also instill a culture of peace to the next generation. I am therefore very thankful to everyone who has supported me, who has raised me, and who has believed in my work in creating a diverse, equal, and inclusive world for marginalized communities, for underrepresented groups, and for uplifting my compassion for those suffering and in need, for the refugees, for the asylum seekers, for the migrants, for the African communities that are left behind, and in believing in my vision for a better world, in my conviction that change is truly possible, and supporting action to create and produce this desired change while working with others. I thank you all for the time that you've put in and for being a part of the change that we want to see.
Thank you, Hortense, and congratulations. It is very well deserved. So I'm delighted to introduce our exceptional Young Women of Peace Award winner, who is Emma DiBiase. Emma is a high school UN delegate for Pathways to Peace and is on the executive team of the Gandhi King Season for Nonviolence. She has won a number of awards for her rigorous schoolwork, including the Susan B. Anthony and Frederick Douglass Awards. And her nominator described Emma as a force of nature with limitless potential. So congratulations, Emma. Please welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today. But before I start, I am currently in school right now. So if you do hear loud bell, I will have to stop because classes will be changing. But first, I would like to thank Red Bank Catholic, where I am right now, for letting me miss my classes today to attend the ceremony and accept my award. So let me begin. My name is Emma DiBiase. I am a senior at Red Bank Catholic in Red Bank, New Jersey. I started my peace building when I was in 7th grade. And one of my mentors, Mr. George Anthony, who is here today, I just have to thank him the most because he is who brought me into this. And then he introduced me to Tez and Avon, and I just fell in love with everything I'd done. And I am proud of the stuff that I have done, the work that I have committed to do over the past 5 years with Pathways. And it's just so much that I can't even express into words and express in the 5 minutes that I have. I would like to thank my family, my friends for supporting me in everything I do. Every time I come home and I explain to them what happened, I am so happy that I can share this experience with my family and my friends. I would like to thank my Mater Dei prep community. The school that I attended before Red Bank Catholic is where I started everything. That school, Mater Dei, showed me how to become a peace builder and a peacekeeper, the peace builder and peacekeeper I am today. I thank the teachers, the friends, the family that we created in that school. And I'm grateful that I can bring that family aspect over to Red Bank Catholic and show them what I can do and show them that I can do things that I am proud of and share that opportunity with the school, maybe bringing them to the United Nations, showing them the ropes of what we have done over at Mater Dei, bringing programs into Red Bank Catholic and upgoing the program that we have already started at Mater Dei. I would like to thank Avon. I met Avon when I was in 7th, 8th grade over the phone, and we've been talking before her passing, and I'm just so grateful that I got to experience her kind words. Her passion, her devotion to peace is something that I aspire to have, and no one can do it better than Avon. Avon was the person that you can go to if you're having a bad day and just say, I wish the day had gone better, but it did go better because I'm sitting in a room with Avon right now, and just, it's so much to take in and accomplish. I will take a brief moment. I think that was my bell for switching classes. I'm sorry. So my journey began in 7th grade when Mr. George Anthony came over to our school and introduced the Global Leaders Program at St. Mary's Elementary. From there, he brought a couple kids to the United Nations, and I fell in love with everything. Just having that, there's just no words on how to explain how I felt the day that I walked into the United Nations. Stepping on international soil was just mind-blowing to me. And I would never imagine myself doing that as a 7th grader, but I did, and it was just amazing. The experience was wonderful. A couple months later, I met Tez in a church in a workshop, and our stories that we have from that day were just amazing. And I was completely mind blown, and I was afraid that I was like, let me just take a minute. I'm afraid to speak up from it. And my instincts took over. I spoke up and I helped Tez and Kim with the presentation that that day with the technology aspect of it. Later on in my life, I've met Mr. Lindy Peter Crescitelli, who is also here today with the Gandhi King Season for Nonviolence. I am on their executive board and student chief leader as well. With them, I have done technology. And if you've been to our events for With Learn, Lead, Serve in the Season for Nonviolence, all the technology background and anything behind the scenes has been run through by me before it goes out to the public and shown. So that's why everything you see is smooth transitioning, screen sharing, all of that. I've done that. We've perfected it into a way that it's just muscle memory by now. So I thank them so much for what they have done for me over the past 2 years with that. And through everything, through my work and journey of peace, I've realized that I'm not alone in it. There are other people who are trying to achieve peace as well. And we can achieve that if we work together, not work separately. Working together, you can achieve so much more than just saying, hey, I'm going to do this on my own. No, you need that support. You need that foundation that others have set. People have been telling me that our generation will change the world. And yes, I believe that. Our generation will change the world. Our generation has the technology and innovations that we can change the world with everything. I am beyond proud of my friends who are that won the Exceptional Women of Peace Award nominee, Catherine Vogt and Rebecca Ture. I have worked with them on the side. I went to school with Catherine and I've worked with Rebecca with the Season for Nonviolence. Just saying, I was amazed and so honored to be placed with both of them on side by side. And I'm proud of every woman. We don't need a title to say that you are an exceptional woman of peace. You are a woman of peace, title or not, trophy or not, you are an exceptional woman of peace. You are who you are, and there's nothing you can do to change that. And that's beautiful. And we all should embrace that. Before I send off, I have this quote that I've been using since I was 11 years old. That quote has been carrying with me for the past 6 years, and I intend to use that quote in the future. Be the force that inspires change, and be the change that makes a difference, because all it takes is one voice to change the world. And I stand by that today, because it all does take one voice to change the world. I believe that I'm changing the world just by the minute, just sitting here and talking with everybody. Catherine believes that changing the world in gender equality, she can do that. She's changing the world in that aspect. Rebecca is changing the world in nonviolence aspect. She keeps doing that because of the voice that we all have. Don't be shy, speak up and speak out, because that's what we need. We need more people who speak up and speak out on their beliefs and views. So I thank you, Tez, thank you, Kim, thank you, the leadership team. Thank you, Ambassador Chowdhury, for coming out today, and may peace prevail on earth. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Emma. I love your enthusiasm and positive energy, and I think your voice is going to help change the world. So keep speaking up and being involved. So 2 of our finalists have worked over their lifetime to build peace with extraordinary backgrounds. So we decided to create a category called a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm thrilled to introduce our first Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Lois Nicolai has worked over the past 35 years raising awareness about the dangers of nuclear arms and advocating for nuclear disarmament across many parts of the world. She received 5 nominations for this award, one from her daughter, who said she is a driving force for peace and taught her 4 children what determination and passion can do to change the world. Congratulations, Lois. You're muted.
Is it working now? Good.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, I cannot imagine anything being more exciting than being in the same room with so many of you wonderful people today. It is both a pleasure and an honor for me to be here with all of you on this special occasion. I wish to start by thanking both Tez and Kim as representatives of Pathway for Peace for initiating this remarkable recognition of Exceptional Women of Peace Award. It's a true celebration for women of all ages and nationalities to enjoy. Secondly, I wish to thank Ambassador Chowdhury for his remarkable years of service as a career diplomat and who has given special recognition to empowering women. And it is a true pleasure to meet the 7 of you peace colleagues who are all doing remarkable work in your fields of peacemaking, in some of you in your own countries. Well, all of you in your own countries and some of you here. I found it truly amazing as I read about each one of you, how much alike we all are. In 1955, when I was 17 years old, I wrote a letter to the newly formed United Nations in New York City, requesting information on how I could qualify to work for the UN once I graduated from high school. Ever since I was a child, I was mesmerized with the thoughts of people in foreign lands. And my one dream was to go out into the world and get to know people of other nationalities. I soon received a letter back from the UN that I actually have right here. It was dated in April of 1955 from the UN. And they explained to me that I needed to go to college after high school and learn languages, and there would be a good job waiting for me at the UN. As it turned out, I ended up marrying when I was 20 and spent the next 26 years raising my 6 children. Once they were in college, I spent 3 years walking the beach and deciding what I was going to do with the second half of my life. It was then at my 50th birthday dinner that I announced to my bewildered children that I was going to move to a community, a college community, and get involved in the peace movement so that I could make a difference in the world. In the 1990s, I ended up spending several years attending meetings and seminars at the UN after I founded our World Citizen Diplomats organization. And over the past 30 years, I traveled into more than 30 countries, doing exactly what my dreams were all about 40 years earlier. Today, I realize from my life that it's easy to see that if you have a worthwhile dream, the universe will help you make those dreams come true. It is a true honor for me to receive this wonderful Lifetime Achievement Award. And it certainly does induce a mixture of emotions. There is a horror for the passing of time. Lifetime awards, by definition, mark the passage of time. And that does give me the obvious shock of acknowledging a long career that I always felt was a combination of opportunity and good luck. I have managed to have both. Because leadership is a skill and learning how to do it is never over, it changes daily and brings new challenges and new opportunities every day. I have learned over time that there are 4 basic recommendations to warrant success. First is that we must have a passionate goal. We need to be passionate in order to be successful. Second, we must care for others and do with others because we can never be successful on our own. Third is attitude. Being positive and believing in what we are doing is imperative for success. And last but not least, one must always realize that your ultimate goal is your family. Don't let a single day go by without you being with them or for them, because that's what it's all really about. My friends, both here and those watching on Zoom, I am honored and humbled by this award. I am immensely grateful to Pathways for Peace and for this huge honor. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you, Lois.
Thank you.
And now for our second awardee, of the Lifetime Achievement Award is my beloved colleague and friend, Nina Meyerhoff. And what I could say volumes about Nina and never cover all that she has done so far in her life. And she is continuing to create innovative programs to bring peace to our planet. So let me say just a little bit. So Nina started her work for peace when she was 27 years old, with much of that work being focused on empowering children, as evidenced by the founding of Children of the Earth. She has traveled and worked for peace in more than 100 countries, many in war zones, has received numerous awards, and has been invited into the sacred spaces and ceremonies of many indigenous cultures. Nina, you are so worthy of the Lifetime Achievement Award, and we know there's more to come.
Thank you. Thank you, Tess. Thank you, everybody. It's a wonderful opportunity to receive this award because it feels like a culmination point of recognition, because when you're doing the work out there alone, you're just doing the work. And then to have this come back at you, it's such a gift. And you know, the last few days I've been seeing Avon with me with the turquoise and the scarf around her neck and her long blonde hair. Yeah. So I know that her energy is pouring down and through and joining us in this. And I think, you know, it's a way to carry her work forward that we're lost. And we know how focused and diligent she was. Yeah. So we must also abide by that. I realized that when I was young, that it was really important to have a voice that mattered. And so I began to ask myself, who am I? What is my purpose? What is my real passion in life? And it took me to have some courage to drop out of what I considered a career choice. I was director of 10 schools, special ed and gifted programs, etc. I ran a children's camp. I had done a lot of other typical things, but I stepped out. And when I stepped out, I gave myself to follow my steps wherever they'll take me, with the understanding that peace is what leads me forward. And wherever that brings me, there I will serve. And so that became my inner guidance. I wanted to share a couple of stories because, you know, it tells you a little bit about me. In 1990, there was the World Summit for Children, and that really disturbed me. How could it be for children? Why isn't it of children? You know, it really, and so I brought about 50 young people from all around the world together, and we worked for 1 week on what is peace, and they created the Children's Declaration of Peace. And with that, we went to UNICEF and presented. We went to the US mission and presented, and even the General Assembly. I think it was the first time that youth were invited to address the General Assembly, and they read the declaration. And, you know, the best part of it was when the hall became empty, I invited the young people to go to the dais and stand there and imagine, I am a future leader of this world. What would I say? What do I believe? Who am I? And we allowed each young person to take a few moments and do that. And the incredible response that they had from internally was amazing. And we've seen so many young people become really dedicated peacemakers. It's very, very impressive. So I was asked, what was the biggest challenge? And I've had so many challenges. So I'll tell you one, because it'll relate to what I'm doing now. I established the first non-governmental children exchange for Russia and the Ukraine. And the reason it was so hard is I had to deal with every diplomatic service there was. I stayed up days and nights trying to get visas for everyone. You know, it was almost impossible trying to get inside the embassies, the missions, etc., to get this all together. But we did. And we had children exchanges, student exchanges, camp exchanges, teacher exchanges for many years. So I became very interested in Ukraine and Russia. So when the Ukrainian war began, something in me pulsated and I had to go to the border because it never stops. You know, when you believe, and you follow that belief. So there I was. We started with 25 teddy bears giving out to children, and we ended up with 1,400 teddy bears. But you can imagine seeing a family with 3, 4 children hanging on a knapsack and a cell phone. That's all they had. And they had to leave their husbands, their fathers, their boyfriends at home for the war. They didn't know where they were going. It was really a traumatic thing for them and traumatic for me to see because they didn't feel whole and complete. And it was terrible to meet people that said, where am I going? Where do I sleep tonight? And so with that, we realized that I was with, I must mention this, please, I was with 2 most dynamic women. We were a triangle and we worked in precision. We knew exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it with each other. We so collaborated and respected each other. And that was the piece that we believe in. And that's Diane Williams and Christine Birch. And I must mention them. So we went to the border and we realized they needed a home. And I have a project with the co-founder Domen Kochevar called One Humanity Institute. And we inherited 2 buildings in the town of Auschwitz and Auschwitz. We refitted that building and we now have 25 Ukrainian guests living there. And they are a community and we're serving them and they're feeling grounded. And of course, they have many concerns. And our next piece of this work is we're establishing a peace laboratory, which is like an internet cafe for the young people, where we will offer workshops and trainings and job skills and whatever they need, learning Polish for the Ukrainians. There's a lot to do. So we have the Peace Lab and that is next. I also wanted to tell you about my favorite experience because I was asked that too. And so this is a little contrast to what I'm working on now. My favorite country is Nepal. And I was up in the mountains with Guruji and his mother working with orphans. And I couldn't get over, the mother would sit on the ground outside, build a fire, cook some food, go to the tree, pick big leaves and sew them together and offer it to me as a plate. And then she would give me another leaf and put a hole in the tree and I would drink from it. And I said, oh, this is true sustainability. So I learned a lot from this woman. Yeah. And I understand. The other thing that I was up in the Himalayas and we had to go through leach fields to reach a Rinpoche on the top of a mountain. So these are my favorite experiences because who would have ever imagined, yes? And also in Nepal, we have a young man that was with us for many, many years, and he has started 27 schools up in the hills of Nepal. And young girls attend schools and get good education. I am so proud of him and all the work that we've done. So I have, as I've aged and followed my steps, I've done many, many different things. So I appreciate this so much. And I want to say thank you, and thank you, because it is all of us that work together, has been said before. We are one family of humankind. Thank you. And I appreciate this award beyond words. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. And thank you to all of our award winners, as well as our finalists. We had many people, many that nominated many amazing women. And so we'd like to take a moment and to raise those names and say them out loud. Our award winners and finalists will be included in those, but we know it gives a little extra power when we can say those names out loud. So if you'll give me a moment to try to pull up that list. This is the point at which you tell me if you can see this.
We can see this. There you go. And we apologize if we don't pronounce the names exactly correctly. We'll do our very, very best.
Yes, thank you. Asatu Adamu,
Maritza Adonis,
Pam Ahern,
Najla Al-Sheikh,
Samaya Al-Hossam,
Khadija Arfoui,
Maha On,
Barbara Condren,
Emma DeBeas,
Rehab Fatima,
Barbara Goen Mueller,
Kat Haber,
P. Horsley,
Safiatou Don,
Malam Kindu,
Genevieve Kupang,
Dot Maber,
Nina Meyerhoff,
Terry Miller,
Hortense Minishi,
Carolyn Miss,
Lois Nikolai,
Esther Oman,
Elizabeth Sheridan,
Rebecca Teray,
Sylvia Villalobos,
Catherine Volk,
Monica Willard,
and Salma Youssef. We just so honor and appreciate each of you and those who nominated you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now, Kim, if you'd like to take a moment to talk to us about what's next.
So, given the extraordinary response of this year, of course, we're going to launch it again next year on International Women's Day, March 8th. So please keep thinking about people you could nominate. You can nominate yourself. You can nominate somebody you know. You can see what this award means to people. So we definitely plan to keep this moving forward. We wanted to expand, share it with your networks, with your colleagues. There's so many worthy women out there. So please be thinking about this, and we look forward to your participation again next year. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for joining us. And at Pathways to Peace, we always say two things. Please know that you are a pathway to peace, and that let's make peace our everyday value. And so I would like to close with a quote from Kavita Ramdas, that I think really summarizes how we feel about this time. Kavita says, we need women who are so strong they can be gentle, so educated they can be humble, so fierce they can be compassionate, so passionate they can be rational, and so disciplined they can be free. These are the women before you. These are the women you've nominated. These are the women also who can't be with us today, but we hold in spirit. These are exceptional women of peace. Thank you. Thank you.